All right, let's go ahead and get started then. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Haley Nottable. I'm the Events and Programs Manager here at the NCC. I'd like to welcome you all to our Tech Talk, or sorry, Tech Coach. I'm so used to doing Tech Talk on job search strategies, and I am pleased to introduce to you our speaker today. This is Thom, and he's the director of the Center for Professional Selling at NTSU. So, Thom, thank you for being here today, and I want to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Fantastic. I'm excited. This is one of my most favorite topics, matter of fact. The power of LinkedIn is just freakishly amazing, and it gets more powerful every day. It's just craziness. So I just put in the chat the three areas that I want to try to cover with us today. And those three areas are how to set it up, and we won't spend a whole lot of time with that, but we will spend some. And then we will talk about searching and posting. So, all of these things are important for your LinkedIn. Now, right now, I just posted in the chat uh, a link to a form that will help you set up your LinkedIn profile. And so let's real quick, let's hit some of this. I'm going to share my screen with you. And you should be seeing my LinkedIn profile page. Can you verify that for me? Yes, yay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, now here we have, if you go into my profile, let's talk about some things right now because I think it's important before you start networking with people and start applying for these jobs that you have a place for them to go check you out. Okay, so let's make sure that this looks appropriate before we ever start speaking with other human beings. And just imagine it as your storefront window to the main street of business. Okay, and if you see here the little circle thing, you see my profile picture, and that is the way that you will see me dressed at work. When I'm in front of students, when I'm in front of people, I typically have a bow tie on or at least a tie. And that's my normal attire. And so get that your profile picture should reflect the way that you are at work. Yeah, even though this is social media, this is a business social media. So it should reflect your work attire. You may have amazing grandchildren. Your pet may be beautiful. You may have the most exciting hobby in the world. I don't want to care. I don't want to know about that yet. I want to know about you at business. That's our focus right now. So make sure it's there. You see the banner right behind that. That should be some type of art that reflects what you do for a living. See, there I am. If you zoom in real close, it's pre-beard, but there I am without with talking to people. Go figure. That's how I make my living. Now, this is an original photo. Uh, if you don't have an original photo, there is a website called unstuck.com. Now, unstuck.com will allow you to um, not unstuck, unsplash. Here we go. Unsplash.com will allow you to have free clip art because you never want to start a business relationship with a piece of clip art that you stole from somebody. Okay, so that's just good form there. If you scroll a little bit down further, you'll see the typical, job title. Yeah, I'm the director of the Center for Professional Selling. But then you see a tagline: I help people connect and grow their business careers. That tagline kind of helps people understand who I am as a person, and it separates me from others. So make sure that you put that tagline in there because your LinkedIn is more than just a digital resume. Okay. Then you see a section called contact. And if you're going to be seeking a job, if you're going to be networking, make sure that you have a way for people to connect with you. This is the one of the biggest flaws, mistakes that I see people make is they don't put your phone number there or an email address there. They just leave it blank. So you have to message folks via LinkedIn, and not everybody checks LinkedIn as often as they should. So make sure that you complete the section on contact info. The way that you update anything in LinkedIn is you use the little pencil and it allows you to update all the information right there. Okay. Now, you come on down to a section called About. The section for About, okay, let's see. Robert says, I was told by a recruiter not to put too much information on my resume because my identity may be stolen. Well, don't put your street address. I'm comfortable putting my mobile phone on there, but if you're not, don't. But do make sure that you have an email that you will check. Because why on earth would you have that out there? You need to make sure you have an email for people to connect with you. So that's a bare minimum there. Uh, I wouldn't. Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. You say that, but so many people don't have that. All right, so let's go back to the About Me section. Most of you guys have thought about having an elevator pitch. Some of you have worked on an elevator pitch. Some of you know that you need to do an elevator pitch. So, so make sure that in the About Me section, that's where I like to do an elevator pitch. And so the way that I do mine is I separate it by what do I do? How do I do it? Why does it matter? Why should you call me outside of work? This is so many people will have a big narrative of things here, but if you see, I have it separated by white space. White space is your friend. So make sure that you have your little bits of information broken down into either one or two sentences chunks, sections, because if all of that was just one paragraph, which it could easily be, nobody would read it because nobody likes to read anymore hardly. Make sure you separate that by small pieces. White spaces is your friend here. Folks are more likely to read it. Okay. Now you'll see in that link that I gave you that LinkedIn has some that are preloaded sections, and then there's two others sections that you could add to that. So let's go to the very top here, and you see Add Profile Section. And so there's a recommended section and additional section. And so we've in the core, which what we've talked about so far, your position, and there's a couple other things. We're about to get into the recommended sections about licenses, projects, courses, recommendations. These are crucial sections here. Then there's another section down here about your volunteer work, honors you may have received. If you have, or if you're bilingual or more, then don't miss the opportunity to put that into your LinkedIn profile. This helps recruiters know your story. Okay, so going back, we've just did our elevator pitch in the about section. We're going to skip the activity portion. The experience, that's the only place in LinkedIn that I feel like it's your digital resume. So you put your employment history here, okay? And you also put your education in this spot. Now, license and certifications, that's in one of those additional modules, additional sections that you would set up. But you have probably licenses or certifications that you have earned. So make sure that you add those into your profile so that it helps tell that story to the recruiter, or if you're using LinkedIn to generate additional revenue, generate more business, it allows people to know more about the skill sets that you have. Okay. Um, Now, I have a section here that projects. So there's some projects that I have been active in. If you have that, please include that. Uh, you can have a section that you share what's important to you as far as volunteering. I know the Generation Z is very interested in who you are as a person and what do you find important. So this is a good section to make sure that you connect with Generation Z, or if you're Generation Z, this is a place for you to share that type of information. Coming on down a little bit further, we have recommendations. Now, I think that all of us have probably ordered something from Amazon in our life, and that would make you probably normal. And I'm sure that when you have ordered that, you have looked at how many stars does it have, and you looked at the reviews of that product, especially if it's a higher dollar amount product. This is the exact same thing in your LinkedIn profile. This will allow the recruiters to check out your LinkedIn profile and then see what other people say about you. Okay. See, I have 43 of them, and I think they're important. Okay, so you look at this. These are things that people have taken time out of their day to share with about me. That's kind of cool. Okay, now how do you go about getting that? Is you go to the plus right here, ask for a recommendation. So you have a recommendation. So Carlos is on the call right now, so I could reach out to Carlos. The relationship, he and I work for the same company, but different group. Okay. During the time, I'm a professor. Now, this right here says, "Hi, Carlos, would you write me a recommendation, please?" You can do that if you want to. I prefer writing something um, more personal, something that more relevant. So, and then it's always best practice to um, reach out to them outside of LinkedIn to let them know that have done the request as well. Now, I'm not going to put Carlos on the hot seat here to send that, but now you know how to ask for a recommendation. What happens after that point? Carlos would get it. He could write me a recommendation, and then I would get to review it. And from there, I could go, hey, this makes a lot of sense, and I could share it. Or let's say that he misspelled my name because I spelled Tom with an H, and that's just weird. So I could return it back to him and go, hey, would you mind correcting this with the correct spelling of my name? And then, boom, he does that. Then I could share it. So you're in total control of what you share here. Personally, I've never not shared one, but I have had to ask people to correct the spelling of my name because, it's kind of my name. All right. I do have publications that I have that they're honors, organizations that I'm a member of, things like that. So I wanted to cover that with you because I want you to see that setting up your LinkedIn profile, it's not difficult. it will take some time. The link that I shared with you in chat walks you through every bit of that, and it helps you all the way through. So hopefully you'll find benefit in that, and I feel free to use it. I use it with my students. Okay, now let's go. And if are there any questions about setting up the profile before we go any further?
I saw one question come through. It said, I keep hearing to keep the resume shorter than 2 pages. Does that apply to the LinkedIn profile experience section?
No, your LinkedIn profile, you could go back as many years as you would like. That's a good question. Part of the reason why you're doing it on the sheet of paper is because you want to keep it to that, not more than 2 pages. Here in the United States, we do resumes. More in Europe and also academia, they do CVs, and they're much more lengthy, more narrative in nature. So the resume is a short, boom, here's information. A LinkedIn profile allows you to go more into telling that story. So, which is fine. Let's see the next one. Recent graduate unable to find a job for 8 months, but how should I able to cover the gap with my experience and study as I'm still searching for a job? Well, you're doing something during this time. I'm quite sure you would just label it as something, some activity that you're doing. Volunteer work, however we do that, but always tell the truth in your profile, always. Okay, now let's talk about search. Now, there's a search bar right here at the very top. Okay, now let's see what I have. Let's go with, say that I could search Maddie with Enterprise. She's one of the hiring folks over there at Enterprise. And then I could go to her profile. Okay, right here, this is an interesting thing. You see, if I go to her profile and I go to her connections, that's a live link for her. She is sharing her connections with us, which is fantastic. So now I have all of her connections that I could look into and see if there might be somebody there that would be useful for my career or useful for my job search. Okay. But that's a lot of people. She's connected with a ton of folks. And what if I go into all filters here and did a search by location and said, actually, I want somebody in Murfreesboro that is from Middle, that graduated from Middle Tennessee State University. And let's see, graduated and does marketing. Okay, so boom, let's see what happens. Nothing, not a thing. All right, so now I bet you it was the marketing thing that messed us up. So let's take that off, show it again. Now I have 10 results of people that she knows that looks like I know all of them. And now I could see all of that is right there. Let's go back and let's look up um, the company Enterprise itself. So now I'm on the home page for Enterprise, and there are 13,000 plus employees at Enterprise. That's also a live link. I can go to that link. Again, I can go to the all filters and start build a buyer persona that I'm looking for. I want first or second connections. I want to make sure that everybody understands what a first and a second connection is. I'm pretty sure that you do know, but just to y'all be patient with me. A a first connection, like Carlos and I know each other we are connected on LinkedIn. So that's a first connection. But Robert on the call here, he may be connected with Carlos, but I'm not connected with Robert. So Robert would be a first connection for Carlos, but Robert would be a second connection for me, just to make sure that I know that I'm being Captain Obvious, but let's make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay, so now I want a first or second connection, and I want somebody in the Nashville market. Okay, then we scoot on down here and say that I really would like somebody from Middle Tennessee State University. Gives me something to talk to them about, being a Blue Raider and all that good stuff. And then I'll show the results. Okay, so there are 4 second connections in the Nashville market. Let's see, 2 of them are second, 3 of them are second connections. 1 is first connection. All right, Kong Lee is he works for fleet management, super good guy. Okay, but I don't know Raymond at all, but he's a tri-brand customer experience representative. Let's see, this bottom one, Thomas is a staff accountant at Enterprise. So let's say that position right there, for some reason, let's say that's my dream job. Okay. Well, if that's my dream job, what I can do is a couple of 2 things. One, I could reach out to Thomas himself. I could connect with Thomas. So let's connect, add a note, and just write in here, you have my dream job. How would you recommend pursuing a career at Enterprise? So I could just connect with him and just ask, who should I talk to? There's nothing wrong with that. Or since I'm connected with Kong, I could just message him and go, hey, I'm trying to get on at Enterprise with a staff accountant position. Who would you recommend that I speak with there? So you have that, okay? What you don't know is who you might know there or who might know them. Okay, so let's talk about that. Here's Thomas with my dream job, and I know 7 people that know Thomas. Okay, so matter of fact, Maddie Morgan was in my office yesterday morning. And so I could just message Maddie and go, hey, I meant to ask you about the staff accounting job at Enterprise. Thomas is that has that position. Could you connect me with him so that I could ask some questions about the position, and also who else would you recommend? So now I'm leveraging my connections, my contacts within LinkedIn, because I have let's see, several that are first connections that know Thomas. Does that make sense, everybody? Looking for a thumbs up or a question mark. Okay, I got oh, good deal. Thank you, because not seeing your faces kind of makes it difficult. All right, so let's go back up here and let's just do a job search. Staff accountant. Okay. Now we've got all these jobs, positions out here. Looks fine, but you'll notice, let's say staff accountant, that one. Okay, it gives us some information about this. All right, let's see. Okay, that's just super stuff. Everybody can do that. There's nothing spectacular about that. let's go this route though. Now we're looking at people who are staff accountants. And now we might go into, we want first connections that have the job title staff accountant. So Mitchell Pearl, super good guy. He's an accounting manager over at Cracker Barrel. Just a sweetheart of a guy. If I wanted a job at Cracker Barrel in the accounting department, then Mitchell is the person that I would reach out to and go, hey, can you tell me about the jobs there? Who should I talk to? Okay. Same thing, you got enterprise mobility. You could go talk to Larry. There's just gobs of different people that I could reach out to just doing the job search, staff accountant, instead of doing just the job postings like Monster and all that junk. I could go here and then go one, and then I'm one step away from these jobs right here. Okay, how we doing, guys? Are we doing okay? Okay. Now, there's a couple other things that I want to cover. That one was the setup. Second one is the search, making sure that you know exactly how to do a search. So like here's Nathan Gravely. Okay. Uh, there's his profile right there. Then I could go into his company, Federated. Then I could search his company, all filters, first, second. Uh, they're located in Minnesota, but let's say I want to look at Tennessee. Okay. Now, so here's the people that they have working in Tennessee. Okay. So I'm connected with three of these guys. Um, so Brad actually lives here in Murfreesboro. I'm four of these guys. Nathan lives over in Knoxville. Okay. But there's several that I don't know, and I could reach out to them. I could ask them questions about opportunities. There's a host of things I could do. Let me tell a story real quick. My daughter-in-law worked for a company named HealthStream, downtown Nashville. She loved her job. She loved the company, but they got word that HealthStream was going to sell her division. And of course, the rumor mill got started, and they all thought that they were going to lose their jobs. So she got onto LinkedIn and started just reaching out to people that had the job that she had in other companies because she enjoyed what she did. And so she connected with people all over Middle Tennessee for this very purpose. Matter of fact, she had an interview with one company, found out that she was actually, through all of her work, she had 12 connections at that company, by connecting with people, asking them about the culture, asking them, who would she talk to, all this stuff. She ended up being connected with the owner of the company, and she's connected, I think, with 12 of them. And when she got there, did the interview, she found out there was only 20 people in the whole company. And so she was connected with the majority of the company, which was fantastic. So she leveraged the power of LinkedIn to find herself a comparable or a little bit better job. Um, Fortunately for her, they did sell the division, but they kept her because she's incredible at her job, as you can imagine. And it actually included a pay raise. So it was a happy story all the way around. But I was really proud of the initiative that she took. And she leveraged the search on LinkedIn and just reaching out and connecting with people, which is exactly what LinkedIn is designed to do. All right. So next thing I want us to talk about is posting. If you are going to be on LinkedIn, then please don't just throw LinkedIn up there and then just forget about it. That's LinkedIn is not that. It's not static. It is you. It's a living, breathing representation of you. So you should post periodically, have a regimen of posting things, um, but make sure that when you post things that it's relevant and useful for folks. Also, you need to posting includes liking and comment. So here at the top of my screen here, it says Tim Wilson, who's a really nice guy. He's a professor over in another college here at MTSU. Sports leisure is what he does over there. Okay, so he's got this thing that he shared. Great asset to MTSU. Thank you for all you do. And then this is about Chuck Arnold, journal manager, university. Good, good, good. All good stuff. So what I could do um, is I could just like it. Okay, and that would be okay. But I don't think you want to be okay. Um, so this is is that the right guy? Ingram, yeah. So that is Ingram, right? I believe it's right. Wagner, no, wrong one. All right, so I'm just going to leave it at great stuff. Thanks for sharing. Comment. Okay, so that is better than just a like, just a drive-by like. That's not going to work. Okay, now, so you could comment like that. Let me show you what else you could do. Let's go into my profile again. That section that we skipped is where I share information or post things. And there's one that I want to show you. I'm a serial poster, so you'll have to hang on with me for just a second when I get to it. But it's this thing that I posted a while back. Um, and what I did, as I look for it, I'll tell you the story behind it. Buddy and I, of mine and I, were talking about athletes and sales training. Here it is. Okay, so we were talking about how student athletes, the recruiters really target them and really want to interview them for sales jobs. But wouldn't it be amazing if they registered for my sales class so that I could teach them how to sell? And then they also had the D1 athlete title behind that. They would be just an unstoppable force. So I found an article Saturday morning, and I read this article about why athletes win in sales. I copied and pasted this article into ChatGPT, and I said, "Hey, summarize this in 3 points for me." And it summarized it in 3 points. I changed the words to be more my style, but it really helped me out doing that. I copied and pasted what I adjusted from theirs and posted that in here, shared the article. So far, over 8,000 people have seen the article. It has 16 comments and has been reposted 10 times. Okay. If you're networking for a job or if you're networking for business, that's just free advertisement. I call it guerrilla marketing. That's getting your name pushed out there way beyond what you could do by yourself. and it's leveraging the power of LinkedIn. An hour ago, I posted this. We're having a grand reopening of our sales lab. We're the only fully accredited sales program in the state of Tennessee. And so on November 21st, we're hosting a grand reopening of our remodel of the sales lab. In an hour's time, 500 people have seen it. It's been reposted once. It's got 3 comments. Oh, it's in the mail, Carlos. And your invite's in the mail. Nicely done, sir. All right. This morning, 7 hours ago, I posted about the enterprise sales competition where my students competed, and 1,400 people have seen it. It's been five reposts, 9 comments. Now, I have a philosophy on posting. If I have the ability to post and lift somebody else up, then I think that that post will carry more weight and enable me to highlight somebody else. But at the same time, while I'm doing that, it's kind of like the the halo effect, I think it's called, where I get exposure as well because I'm the one that lifted them up. And so that's that servant type thing approach to LinkedIn that I do. I'm not one of these ones that post something on LinkedIn and go, hey, look at me, I'm freakishly amazing. I don't like that attitude. I like lifting other people up. And when I do that, some reason people like me too. Go figure. All right. So this is a thing that about the tech coach. You guys all saw that. Okay. So just the other day, one of my students gave a presentation at a meeting. Again, I'm lifting somebody else up, but I'm getting the exposure at the same time. Does not hurt at all. So these are some of the things that you can do. Uh, LinkedIn, like many other social medias, likes video. So it's interesting if you post a video, then on the engines within social media will put that video at the top. And so now you get more reach because you're doing video as well. So not only are you know, doing the things that you need to do, but also you're playing the game by feeding LinkedIn what LinkedIn likes to receive. Okay, so all of these things are very useful tools to have, you know, and hopefully that will help as well. Now, let's go back. All right, so before I move forward beyond that, are there any questions about posting things along that line? Perfect. All right. One more section I want to talk to you about is LinkedIn groups. LinkedIn groups used to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're okay now. They're still fine. They still have a use, and let me explain that use to you. Uh, you notice earlier I talked about first and second connections. Uh, you can direct message a first connection. Okay. You cannot direct message a third connection, but you can ask to connect with somebody with a personalized note if they're a second connection. Okay, so how do you get around that? How do you beat that? Well, one way that you beat that is you join a group. So you hear right here in Nashville, we have the Network Nashville. So I would highly recommend that you join this group. It is an open group, if I remember correctly. Oh, it's private listed, so you have to ask to be a member. Okay. And then from here, anybody that is a member of this group, I can direct message, even if they are like Tom Villa. I have no idea who that man is, but I can direct message him, even though he is a third connection. So under normal rules, I cannot reach out to him directly, but because we share the same networking group, the same LinkedIn group, then I can direct message him. I can do the same thing with many other groups as well. So Nashville Business Journal, let's go back to that one. Let's see, where am I? Here we go. Nashville Business Journal has a good number of members, over 10,000. Let's see, Nashville, Huntsville, Knoxville, 15,000. Leadership Think Tank, almost 2 million members. Anybody that's in that 2 million people, I can direct message regardless if I'm first, second, or third connection with them. So these are tools of helping you to where you could just direct message. Everything that I have shared with you is the free version of LinkedIn. I have not shared anything that is not free. Okay. Now, do you guys have any questions on any of that stuff? I think I just stopped sharing. Hopefully I did. Okay. So I highly recommend that you go to the LinkedIn Builders Forum that I shared at the beginning of this session, and go into that, build up your LinkedIn profile before you start reaching out for jobs and networking, because you don't want, it's kind of like showing up to a job interview with a dirty car. You don't want to do that. So make sure your car's clean, you're looking good before you go out there. Are there features in the premium LinkedIn that you have found especially helpful in a job search? Yeah. Um, the, the one that I'm most familiar with is Sales Navigator. And there's a couple others. There's the one that's designed for job search, and I'm not overly familiar with that, so I cannot speak to that one as well. I have used Sales Navigator numerous times, and the buyer persona that you're able to build within Sales Navigator is tremendous. I mean, it's really incredible. It really allows you to drill down into it. It'll actually show you trends if they're growing, if their revenue is producing. And it's amazing the information that it provides you on the Sales Navigator portion of it. There's others that are very useful as well. It's just that's one I'm familiar with. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Bob. Yep, reaching out. Coffee, yes. I host a podcast, by the way, named Drink Coffee, Make Friends. I invite you guys to listen to it. So it's Drink Coffee, Make Friends. It's what salespeople do. It's a weekly podcast. The director of the Dale Carnegie program and I put on. We discuss, sales tactics. We discuss professionalism. There's a lot of good things that we cover. Um, we have a great time. I have a Phase 4 podcast, so it works out for me.
So let's see. Melissa Harris has her hand raised. So I'm gonna.
Yes. Hey,
There you go.
muted though.
Uh, let's see.
I'm sorry. What were you asking me to do? Oh, my hand isn't supposed to be up. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
well,
okay.
I saw she was just high fiving me, so thank you. Appreciate that. LinkedIn, guys, is one of my favorite tools. It's incredible. It'll help you in sales. It'll help your career. If you want to become a center of influence, LinkedIn will allow you to do that. If you leverage the power of AI, it'll help you tremendously, saves you a lot of time. One last thing, this is the last thing that I'll cover with you. If you are wanting to post content, but you just have no clue what you should post, then you go to a website called answerthepublic.com. That's answerthepublic.com, and enter in a couple of keywords, and it will generate for you a list of questions that people have asked Google about that topic. And then if they're asking Google about that topic, why don't you answer in a LinkedIn post of things, that because you're answering the public, so they gave you a topic to write on. Yeah, I know, Melissa. There's a Nashville podcasters group that meets monthly, and I wish I could attend, but it meets on Wednesday nights. And on Wednesday nights, I'm in church because I need to be there. But thank you. You're right, and that was kind of you to mention that. If I'm trying to land a job leveraging LinkedIn, reaching whom should be my priority, the alumni who are working at the company or the hiring manager of that particular position? All right, that's an excellent question. Okay, so let's talk about strategy there. I like this question. All right, so um, the alumni give you a point of reference that you could talk to and reach out and ask, because my undergrad is Mississippi State University. So if I see that sweatshirt anywhere, I'm going to holler out Hell State, and I got an instant friend. Blue Raiders are the exact same way. Every college out there is that way. So we like helping each other. So you can reach out to the alumni from the alumnus from your university, and say, hey, I'm trying to get into, let's say, Cracker Barrel. I'm thinking about food. Trying to get into Cracker Barrel. What's your recommendation? Yeah, I graduated in 1999, whatever your thing is. Okay. Now, you could do that, but you can also direct message and reach out to the hiring managers. The thing about hiring managers is they're going to place you into the process. And when you're in that process, you lose a little bit of that human connection stuff. So if you could start connecting with humans around that process, then that helps you in the process. You'll still have to go through the process, but if you have human connections of people in that department, people that are mentioning your name to the hiring people, the decision makers, that human connection helps so much as you go through the process. So LinkedIn will allow you to reach those humans within that process. Does that help, Sharon? Oh, good, good, good. Very proud of that help, because that's a really good question. I like that one a lot. Yeah, I talk to my students about, in sales, we talk a whole lot about business to business sales. We talk about business to consumer sales. But what I tell them, the process is the same. It's just where do you place the emphasis? At the end of the day, we're all human. We're all created in the glory of God. And so it's that human to human connection is what you're looking to achieve. And as long as you have that connection, then good things happen. Okay. A couple of things. We have, I'm going to use this opportunity to hope you don't mind to make two announcements. The first one is next Thursday on the 21st, we're having a brand new opening here at MTSU, the Center for Professional Selling. We just remodeled the sales lab. It's the only sales lab in the state of Tennessee. And it's an amazing facility. It's just 2 rooms, but it looks like an executive office with a receptionist and everything. And I leverage that thing to the max. And I just allows me to bring folks in and tell that story. So you are more than welcome to come and celebrate. That's the 21st, 4 o'clock, and the Business Aerospace Building. Even Carlos can come. And then the second announcement is on the first weekend in March, March 7th, we are hosting a national tech sales competition. We're inviting 9 other universities to come onto campus to compete in a sales competition that will pair up a professional selling student with an information technology student in a role play scenario. There's not another competition in the entire nation that does it like that. We'll be the first, but that's the way technology is sold. And so if your company or if you're connected with a company that might want to meet some amazing sales students, have them reach out to me because I have a bunch of them and they're rock stars, every one of them. All right, I'll stop doing the self-promotion stuff now. Except throw up my slide with my students' pictures on there.
Yes, I will throw that up now. Here we go.
Oh, that's not it.
Is it?
That's it. All right. So that's my email address right there, tom.coates@mtsu.edu. Those 6 amazing students right there just came back from the Northeast Intercollegiate Sales Competition, where they competed against 54 other universities. There were 200 students competing. All 6 made the semifinals. 3 of the 6 made the quarterfinals. The team ended up as 4th place out of 55 schools. They're amazing. The young man that is second on the left, Alejandro, came in second place in the Spanish speed round as well. So amazing job, fantastic work, everybody. Just wanted to brag on my students a moment. Thank you for letting me share.
Absolutely. Awesome. And thank you for speaking today. It's always really fun, or I always find it interesting to learn new things about LinkedIn and how to use it. So that was great. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We have another tech coach coming up on December 10th, and it's on professional communication. So that'll be another great one. And we hope you all join. But that's all we have today. So thank you all, and we'll hope to see you next time.
Thank you.